Where'd you put this? On on Spotify?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that shit. All the boys. Alright, let me just have a swig and we'll go, boy. Okay. Welcome back to the Pear Pod, everyone. Joss, I don't know if you know, we have a bit of a record running right now, which every male guest we've had, the last 4 guys, is getting consecutively better looking. It's happened. So I'll show you the guys after this, but you're keeping the streak alive, and the next lad on is not a good looking lad, so he's going to break that streak. So just thought I was
going to say, who's topping it?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not coming now. He's fucked now. The first guy was just a normal looking dude, and he started the streak. But it's after this, lads, it's going to be fucked. I've got a weird looking dude coming on after this, so and no one's going to know who that is.
He will.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. Listen. Firstly, just off the bat, I was doing a bit of research on you yesterday, reading a couple of things on the website. And I came across a Q&A you'd done for MTV back in the day, and it said one of your favourite foods is boiled chicken. That's just untrue, isn't it? Because I'll ask you to leave if that's the case.
That's untrue.
Okay,
I was probably
excellent.
just a bad, dark time
that
I was going through, hence I was on MTV.
Yeah. I was actually chicken can be eaten, so anyways, the worst way to do it is fucking bathe it till it's ready, it's mad. I obviously will go back and chat some more stuff. Thank you for coming on. Fucking appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Did you watch the fight at the weekend? I
did. I was in. I was down at Port watching the fight. I mean, it was just a bit emotional, wasn't it? I felt bad for him. My mate, Phil. He was he thought Joshua had it in the bag the whole time, but I didn't think. I thought the opposite. It's
interesting. Everyone's been like, "Oh, he's up by 2," and then someone's like, "Man, he's down by 5."
It wasn't hitting
the
him.
Interpretation is weird. It's kind of mad the way the public perception just flipped on him very quickly there, and now people are like, he didn't do himself any favors in the post match beating. So it's tough that people can be he's been nothing but perfect the whole way up, and a credit to the sport. And then obviously this is his probably lowest point after all that, and he's kind of.
Do you know what's sad? It's the mental well-being aspect of it, I think. So I know Tyson Fury afterwards called them both out and saying this, that, and the other. But from someone who's come from such a mental, but a hard mental background, and had to fight all these demons in his head, he should kind of not be calling them out straight away at that point. Do you know what I mean? I think Joshua's obviously got his demons as well, and he needs to get over them himself, and take some time back.
Yeah. I kind of saw you doing a bit of boxing in Dubai. There's a video of you boxing in Dubai, doing some pad work in one of the cages. Do you like a bit of just
fitness, bro? Yeah. I would. I wouldn't even bother doing a charity match or anything, because this was charity, isn't it? But it's a good cause. But it's just I'd rather not just get punched in the face. I'm not getting paid for it.
Man, I was about to say the next question was it's turning into a bit of a thing now. If you have any sort of following, you're gonna scrap someone.
Oh
on
mate,
a shitty card.
You say that, but everyone who has a fight coming up hypes it, and they all get cancelled. Man,
and I saw a couple of really small ones, tiny followings, and man, how many 13-year-olds are going to buy this €60 card? Do you know how many people watch stuff online? So it's just, I don't think anyone's going to be able to recoup there.
That's the problem with a lot of social media nowadays, especially Instagram, because now if you look at the analytics and everything of it, businesses are wised up to it. But these boxing companies, they just see followers rather than actual. What do you mean?
No, that's facts.
They see followers rather than actually who are the followers.
Yeah, exactly.
And these people from Love Island, they're going to be 16, 17-year-old boys and girls who aren't going to want to buy a ticket for starters or want to watch boxing.
Yeah.
And so they're not breaking down.
They're not getting together at someone's gaff and being oh, let's 20 each. I'm come on, guys.
Yeah, you're actually more likely to sell more tickets from someone like a micro-influencer who's generally into the sport and people are excited to see him fight.
Me,
Yeah.
I mean, my 90 followers. Yeah. Every single one, at least half would buy it. I can guarantee 45 ticket sales. I can't remember this. I was thinking back to when we shot a inspirational piece together in your gaff, and I remember you saying that you grew up on a farm. Is that you who said that?
Yeah, it's me, bro.
Isn't it?
Pig farm.
It's a bit mad. If people you wouldn't just from meeting you wouldn't picture that's where it's all started.
I mean, no, not with how well groomed.
yeah, well put together he is. Do you know what I mean? I know lads who grew up in pig farms back in fucking.
I think that's probably
like that.
I think that's probably why. But you know what? We're getting a little bit deep, but I grew up on a pig farm, but my dad passed when I was 16. So the rest of my family, I got brought up by women, and I was the man of the house since then. Yeah. So that's probably why I'm so groomed.
Sorry to hear that, man.
But no, it's part of life. But that was why I grew up on a farm, and then got sent off to boarding school.
And so growing up in that environment, where in England was it?
I was in York.
And then so you're now when you're like that age, or you're growing up as like a teen, 16, 17, 18, are you like, I'm going to finish up in Marbella and like have a big house and a nice car in Marbella?
Do you know what? It was just such a random, spontaneous move why I'm even here. Because like when I was at university, which I dropped off because I was never good at like just being in school. Like,
join the club.
Yeah, and so I just got a message randomly on Facebook from one of Phil Savage's team, and I got called out. He's like, "Do you want to come and spend the summer in Marbella?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Yes, please.
Think about that.
Yeah, well, like, nah. Actually, you know what? No, I'm just gonna, stick in the rain, enjoying it.
For that, those 3 summers that I spent here, I made friends for life, and that's why I come back and I feel like it's home.
Yeah. I found even from being here, there's a different. I guess people can probably say the same about like Dubai and London stuff. People seem to be on their own shit here and like much more motivated, at least versus in Dublin. People have their own shit going on a lot, which it motivates me when being around that kind of environment.
100%, but also like any city, because it is a bit of a touristy place. Yeah. If Marbella gets hold of you, you're dead.
He got hold of my brother there last week.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's 2 weeks. Yeah. I know some people they've
gone home yet.
Yeah, they came when they were 19 and they're still here. They never went home.
No. I'm going back to school, Mum. I promise you. Any day now, I'm going back.
40.
You're waiting for next semester.
For the stepbrothers.
Yeah. Mom.
The meatloaf. Oh wait, that's Wedding Crashers. That's Wedding Crashers.
When he goes there.
Yeah.
Mom, the meatloaf. We want it now. That's gas, man. What is she doing back there?
I know.
I don't know what she's doing.
It's the funeral crashing.
Yeah.
It's women's greatest aphrodisiac. Grief.
Listen, Chuck, I don't want to judge you because I think you're an innovator, but it's just no way I'm ready for that. Dude died in a hang gliding accident. What an idiot.
What a scene.
I got one Thursday. You should come. I don't know, man. I'm just like, wow. When you were growing up, was it always? Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do for work? Like, I wanted to be a vet for ages when I was younger.
You wanted to what?
I wanted to be a vet. And then they're like, you need as many points as medicine. And I was like, it's like CAO is all built on how you can get like points is based on the grades you get in your exams.
Yeah.
I didn't get half of what I needed. So that passed. But that was a goal. Yeah, when I was younger, I was like, I'll do it.
What instigated that?
I like animals.
Yeah.
I like dogs. So I was like, it'd be great. But then I did a fourth year, like you go in and do 6 weeks in like a job to see if you like it. I'm on putting down dogs a lot. Like the dogs going into vets aren't always like running around jumping. They're like, hey, this guy needs to get his leg amputated. And you're like, a lot of going around.
Sign
like,
up for that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I'm not running around with like puppies all day. He's like, no, this guy's blind. This guy's getting his fucking back legs taken off and he needs to be put into a new chair. I was like, nah, this is depressing. Sorry. And then they were like, well, you're not going to get the points either way, so thanks for your time. I'll just go
fuck myself.
I'll do media.
Yeah.
I'll do media.
I'll do media.
I'll try to do media. Did you have other fields you want to get into?
Man, I do you know what? I loved football as a kid. Yeah. I was like
every English guy I've had on so far was like, well, obviously you want to be a footballer at some point.
I did. I was kind of on the right track. I was at Leeds United Academy, and then my mum and dad were like, right, you're off to rugby school, bye. And I just had to start playing rugby, and then it was one of the best in the country, to be fair. But like, I was so small at school, bro.
Yeah.
I was a dweeb, and the lads who were going were like coming on scholarships and all this, that, and the other, like just absolute animals, and I was just still.
This is
growing
Henry
my first
from South Africa.
Yeah.
A little bit. No. This is the under 15s and 14. Fuck you.
I'm like so at this point still got like growing my second pube at this point. So
I didn't even have leg. I mean, when we go into rugby change rooms in your first year of school, and then was like changing each other for the first time, and there's like the one lad who hit puberty when he was 9, and you're like, oh, can't wait for mine to look like that. You know what I mean? And then you're like, 25 years later, you're like, it's not as big as Ollie's over there. Like, what did
I remember there was one lad at school. He's called Adam. And the guy first got served when he was 13. He had a full beard, everything. And I just wanted to be like as manly as this guy. But now, the guy looks 80.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Joss, how are you, man? Jesus,
what the fuck?
How are you, man?
Are
you in a fire? No, just age.
Yeah, fucking hell.
No, and I looked fucking 14 till I was about 22, like just but now
it's a blessing though.
Now I'm like, it's people are like, well, 23. I'm like 20, maybe 28. Do you know what I mean? So it works great now until, but I remember I had to get we had a one Penny's uniform between, Penny's like Primark, where we had one mate did work experience there and he got a badge. So we'd take turns dressing up in like black suit and shirt and putting that on to get into an off license that would serve us. Because they'd be like, "How was work today?" And you'd be like, "Great, great, fucking kids." And they'd be like, "Can I get 4 ciders, please?" And they go, "Yeah," and 3 naggins of vodka. And they'd be like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Thank you." And I'll walk back out and they barely carry.
As you get it, you're like,
and I'll just grab your ID.
McLovin.
And then you have to do that.
I got it.
I've left it with my kids. My kid. What age are you? 40. But yeah, so this pod's gonna be an interesting one. People are gonna be like, yeah, they just fucked around a bit for an hour. I did see your like work-wise. I presume now from the rugby and stuff, personal training was kind of where it started because you needed to grow to be fucking bigger.
Yeah, and that goes into what I'm doing now, because a lot of people coming from a sporting background, they like to train and they fall in love with the aesthetic side of it. And then what happens is they usually start to get their qualifications to train people, and then what becomes a love and a passion becomes a fucking job. Mm-hmm. And that's when life kicks in. Yeah. And you can stay there and you end up competing for the rest of your life, and it's not an ideal situation. Yeah. And that's why we're building businesses now where we can help people scale online. I never got,
like, I remember there was a period at like 17 to 19 when I was like, a PT be a sick job. You just get to like train all day, and then you're like, man, no, it's up at 4 to get your 5 a.m. clients. It's your morning shift, then you train, then lunch, and then lunchtime clients, dinner clients. It's a long grind, like all day. But and now I have one mate who's still doing it full time, and he's like, yeah, he works fucking hard anyway when I know. But a lot of people drift off and they're like, oh, just it's a tough gig.
It is a tough gig because you've got every single client, even if you're back to back every day, which is amazing, you've got to have that enthusiasm throughout the whole day. Every hour is a different client, and you've got to bring that to the table. Yeah. And it's just like,
and they don't want to. A lot of them don't want to be there, so you got to be the guy to be.
And
like,
you don't want to be there.
Yeah, so and you're like, here we go, RDLs. You're like,
woo, let's go.
It's like for hamstring.
You're pumped up and pre-workout all day. You go home, can't sleep. Yeah. Same again. Yeah.
Just waiting for 4 a.m. Oh, she's gonna PB today. I was like, it's so interesting how like at the start people are like, that's if I just have my own gym, that'd be the dream. And like that's when the work starts, man. Yeah. So this was the next thing was the idea to move or prioritize online, because one, you get your days and the hours back, and you can do more things than just physically be in the one spot all day. And 2, you can reach more people,
At the time, like, do you know what? It all started because I was very bad at working for anyone else. Any job I actually had after school or university, I got fired from or just left. And in fact, I was
Did you do an Abercrombie at some point, or something like that?
I went to Hollister.
Yeah. And they were like, yeah.
No, I went to an interview and I was head to toe in All Saints gear, and I didn't come shaved, and they wanted to shaved, and they were like, no. I was like,
that manager needs to swallow.
So you're fucking kidding me?
That manager.
No, but you
were like, great. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna show you something funny here, right? So when I was that age, I looked like Shirley off EastEnder. You've got to realise I had a ridiculous haircut. When you're younger, like you straighten the sideburns down and everything.
Okay, this would be great because I can match you back one.
Right. So we're just gonna show Shirley here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we've got that.
No.
And then you put them together.
No. With the sides, the blonde's actually it's not the worst, but the sideburns. Did you straighten them down the side?
Down. Yeah, it took me about half an hour.
Hairspray across, maybe.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, solid. It was rock solid.
No.
Do you want that?
Is your hair destroyed? Like, was your hair like proper wispy when you're waking up in the morning? No. No one wins that game.
Yeah.
And at the time, you're like, I'm fit. I'm so fit.
I thought it was amazing because it was the pride that went into it every night.
Yeah.
And like.
Girls like, wow, it's really, really crispy and straight. Yeah.
Well, don't touch. And
then they'd be like, they'd go to kiss you, and they'd be like, oh, I'd just be like,
I could literally do that, and it'd be like satisfying crunching.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, so that was probably why I got turned down.
Yeah, I'm sure you had the same struggles as the rest of us. No, Sam's cool, but just hasn't hit puberty. It's crazy. 19.
Wait, what was the original question? Oh God.
Let me just think.
Why do I want to work for myself?
Yeah.
I was just never good at any working for anyone else.
Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. Went for a job in Hall Street. They said no, you were working at like you were working at like different gigs.
But like you just got. I didn't know it was going to be good for me then. I wasn't good for working for other people.
Yeah.
And because you are working for yourself, there's only one person that's going to get you up in the morning and do it. You know. So I'd prefer to tell myself to do something than be told what to do.
Like I worked in retail there. Like I did 5 years. Have you ever been a Fat Face?
Yeah.
I fucked up Fat Face for about 8 years around that place essentially. And then my manager there, he does 35 hours a week, and he does Monday to Fridays 9 to whatever. And I was like, man, you not like want to put like a gun to your head, like, because I hated it, every part of it. I hated it. And he was like, no, I'll do this for the rest of my life. I love it. I was like, mate, you're working in Unit B in Fat Face and Dundrum Shopping. Like, how can you? And he's like, just love it. I was like, that's crazy, because I was like, this is. I knew I used it to know exactly what I didn't want to do forever. You know.
It's like, bro, what are you taking?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm really, really high right now. Wait, who are you? Wait, where am I? John's been fired. He was taking M2 May in the change rooms.
God, I loved his life though.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm just gonna go do it somewhere else. It's all good.
It's like, these clothes feel so good.
It's like, oh my God, I fucking love this new gilet. John,
stop squeezing the gilet.
Where are your trousers, John? It's incredibly soft material. I can't believe it. I was going to say, in terms of like the social media and stuff like that, we were talking about Love Island a little bit before we started. With people kind of coming off there, like, what's your take on that kind of overnight? You're an unknown, and then suddenly you're the biggest thing for a year. Do you know what I mean? And like adjust into that. 'Cause like,
so
I have 114 followers on this page. So
it's depending on how you use it, but what the problem is when people go on these things, they go from zero to hero in such a short space of time, and they're actually too scared to go back to their bread and butter, which is their normal job.
Yeah.
And they get this ego about them.
Yeah.
And which is not a good place to be, because they think they're going to be some sort of movie star, and a lot of them crash.
90%.
Yeah, 90% crash, and then the Molly Mays and the Tommy Furies like prevail. You know, they've done amazing, but that's such a small percentage of it, and it's totally comes down to
name the rest of that year that they were on. Do you know what I mean? They're doing their bits.
I don't watch it. I only know them because of how well they've actually done. They've made a name for themselves outside of it.
Yeah, I remember seeing. Like back in the day, there was I think it was just everything has their day, but during COVID, when they did 2 in a year and stuff, when there's that constant cycle of people, you're going to be the forefront of people's minds for 2 months, and like the people who do great from it, they try and build off that when they come out. But a lot of people they'll do PAs for a year, and then there'll be a new crop coming in, and you're left with like a huge up and down and don't know where you're going to go now.
Yeah, it's not a sustainable lifestyle. Like, even when I did that first X on the beach, I was like, yeah, baby. I remember at the end of the series, I was like, we're all going Vegas. I didn't go for Vegas for like 8 years after that because I couldn't afford it. Like, I was like, Vegas, this is dumb.
We were sneaking plastic bottles of vodka in our trousers into Vegas to pour into our drinks. Because I was like, I can't pay $60 for a vodka Red Bull. I need 9 of them to get going. Like, so it was crazy. But I know what you mean, going over them being like, thinking you're the bollocks, and then it's like so quickly, like reality checks in a little bit.
Yeah, because it's not real.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I couldn't handle it. I know for a fact. Like that whole. I guess now from looking from the outside, but even like I'm 27. At 18, if you've been like, you can go on Geordie Shore, I would have been like, oh, I'm going to go on and be the absolute man. I'm going to go on because I at 18, I was like, these guys are the coolest guys ever. I was like, this is when I start partying, this is going to be like the crack. But now I'm like, Jesus, it's. If I'd gone at that age, you don't know what kind of person you turn out to be with like that amount of following at 18 years old, And what
they say they give you media training. Yeah. That's what they don't give you. Like, how are you going to deal with that much attention if you have got some insecurities? And that's why you get all these people who have these problems afterwards.
Yeah, man, 100%. It just heightens it. Yeah. When I was obviously the original kind of thought to this is I wanted to chat to you more about like your business ventures out here, and one of the big things that we talked about when we first shot was your agency that you run, Elevate Agency. Do you want to? We kind of got into it a little bit before we started, but what was the motivation behind it originally to start an agency? So
basically, obviously, I've always been training my entire life. I'm so consistent, disciplined with it, and then obviously I went to PT and did my online stuff, and then I had a lot of people now. You see, they have their own platforms and apps.
Yeah, and anyone with over 5k.
Yeah, I had my own, right, and I did great with it over 6 months, and then I met my business partners Jamie and the Harrison twins, and then in that just under 12 months, we started doing high ticket coaching.
Yeah.
And we did over 7 figures in between us and the business for under that. And then we had the big companies around the world asking us what we were doing. And this guy from who's actually in New Zealand, who we're in partnership now with, he happened to be in Dubai and meet me for lunch. I was like, Ken, what do you want? I was like, Ken, what do you want? He's like, let's talk. How you been? I've seen you doing really well. I was like, yeah, I'm good, man.
What do you want?
Yeah, I went to meet him. I was like, so, come on. He was like, talk to me about your business. I'm like, I told him the basics. Anyway, long story short, we went into partnership with them because high ticket coaching is just a more pricey version where the clients get more exclusivity to the coaches, which was myself. And now we actually build platforms with this tech company that offer high ticket and low ticket, so you can hit every type of avatar. Because the low ticket stuff, what I mean by high and low is the price. Yeah. So low ticket is a subscription based model where you're charging $40-50 a month, and high ticket is $15,000 to $2,000.
Which is your like proper in depth one-to-one. I guess the two similarities that I'd look at it from the outside is I see guys who do at the lowest level training plans, like cookie cutter, you buy it for whatever. Then there's one-on-one coaching, and then as it gets bigger, I just naturally, as he gets more clients, they start to offload that to like other people who will help them run through that. And then I guess you do lose a little bit of that. I thought you were my coach, and that one-on-one that you have with the relationship you have with your coach. So I guess this is what your high-end offer is. Yeah,
but the beauty of this, what we've done now, so everything I didn't have when I just had my app essentially. Yeah. We have added in extra value with ourselves and the team, that like little things that we didn't have. Like we never had client success. Client success.
Never had sex with our clients.
Never had sex with my clients. We never had client success. I'm just saying it again.
Yeah, I have those. I was trying to say eclectic to this.
We never had client success management meetings every single week, and everyone we sign up through the agency, every single week they'll be on with me, we'll be on with Jamie, to make sure, because it's a partnership at the end of the day, to make sure we're getting maximum volume and helping as many people as we can, and they're essentially making as much money. And again, like people can say like it's not about the money, but money is a byproduct. So the more money you earn, the more people you can help. It's facts. So it's in our best interest to coach these people the way we did with our high ticket strategies and marketing, to help them with that, and then again with their low ticket as well.
I think it's mad. We talked about Rob a little bit when he first came on. Rob is a big proponent of, let's talk about, let's be cool, talk about money and income and what our motivation is here. Like when people are doing stuff, it's crazy to think or just assume that people don't want to talk about money because we're just doing it for the love of it. Like people, at the end of the day, working is to try and make some money as well. So I think it's important that people aren't afraid to fucking talk about that. Of course, it's crazy.
And the thing is, the problem is, it's like people get they can give you hate for buying stupid things and stuff. But for me, when you get your like first nice car or watch or something, it's maybe materialistic, but it's in your mindset. It's a goal you want to get to, and it's a certain level.
I have that in my head. I want to have a fucking. I actually am just not like mad into cars, but I'm really into having a fucking really nice house that I can have like my own designated space to do a pod for, and I have everything I need in one place. That's in my head. I work towards that every day. So like to make someone feel anything but like well done after they've achieved that is fucking crazy to me. Because I want everyone to be like fucking fair play to you after all the work I've done.
100%.
It's mad. What are kind of some of the issues that you've faced, or like issues you have growing with this? What are some of the challenges you face?
Keeping people motivated. So my main job is the client success management, where I'm on with them every week to make sure they're hitting their targets, right? And when, for example, like we have some clients with followers off TV and stuff like that, and they realize because their followers aren't all fitness based, they get a bit of a shock because they have X amount of followers, they'll have a lot, and they don't get the influx of clients straight away that they expect. And also becoming from these shows and stuff, they expect a lot very quickly. And I'm like, this is a grind. You have to do it, focusing on brick by brick, 1 or 2 clients every single day, just knock them out. You're not going to get 100 like on day one. Just relax.
Wait, I launched my program there, saying only got 2 signups. I was expecting more like 2,000. Is any tips? Any tips and tricks? Like, no, there's no tips. There's like, work hard and build a fucking base of clients,
Another thing that I always try and explain to clients as well, so a lot of people nowadays like focus on the quality of the content, but too much, right? They want everything like professional videos and all this kind of stuff. But if you're but if you've got the kit,
it's a crucial part of marketing. You need quality content.
It's if you can provide like the quality with the value. So it doesn't matter if you're giving something valuable.
The fact is the base of the body of the content is what matters. Like how you deliver that. I see guys, the biggest guys on TikTok, shoot off their phone. And the body of what they do.
But what they're saying, if they're giving value, it doesn't matter if you film it on your Nokia 3310. That doesn't even have a camera, I don't think. Or Blackberry. Do you know what I mean?
No, it didn't actually. No, we used to fuck that off like top of trees and stuff, and it went fine. It used to have phone. Like.
But that's the point. If you're giving value, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. Yeah. It's still valuable. But obviously, you want it to look good. So stop worrying if you haven't got the like. So I tell people to post every single day, and it's like, think about this for a second. I had this conversation yesterday with a client, but my engagement on that post won't be as high if I post every single day, because he'll leave it on his post for a week. Yeah. I was like, all right, you're leaving your one post there for a week, which is like 7 days of people to see it. Yeah. But if you post every single day, the engagement is going to be lower on each one because you're posting so more frequently. But overall, you will have more interaction throughout the week, which they don't understand, because an egotistical person will want more likes on one photo rather than overall. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's good that Instagram now gives you the insights of like visits to your page, because I think at the start people were like, I'm getting 12k a post. Like, but you post once a month. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you're like, yes, great, 12k people come to your page on that Saturday or Sunday you post, but the rest of it there's nothing. Whereas like someone who posts 5 posts a day, people are coming in engaging with that, and as soon as they like that, the algorithm pushes the post you did yesterday. You're seeing those ones. Yeah. So it's just interesting, and like I guess when you're in it so much, you kind of take it for granted that you know it all, but people really don't. At the start of this, they're like, I'll just get a 4K camera and just do like little reels to camera and stuff. But it's the body of stuff. The ones that I see do well are the ones people say stuff and you go, wow, that actually is. You're like, shit, that actually makes sense. It's those ones that do well.
It's true.
So it's just true. In terms of your like workflow, sorry, cotton mouth is setting in. Sorry about the glass. In terms of your workflow, I remember you saying one of the days you're like, I can't today. I've got calls 9 to 9 or something, and I was like for me when I work, I have to be up and down every 60 to 90 minutes just to keep like fresh in my mind, whatever that is. Do you have that? Or can you sit there and grind it out for?
It's very tedious, but I love the process. So usual case that was a long day, but usual case from up to 12 is my time. I go to the gym, I'll maybe read, I'll stretch, I'll go for a run, have breakfast, and then calls from 12 until maybe like 7, 8 at night, because then the Americans wake up and then
so that's the reason for the evening stuff, is it rolls into the day of America.
Yeah, because I tried to do it first thing on the morning and I wasn't actually getting as much done with my calls, and then I was trying to have the evening for my time, but that time I was too tired as well to train. So I do it that way as well.
I find I'll reset the cameras of this, but I find a workout in the morning, I've done it where I've had a podcast today, for instance. I'd be like, I'll go after we've had a pod, and I found the difference when I start my day with something I like to do and like listen to music in the morning, walk to the gym and come back. The difference in my day is night and day, you know. So I find that like having the morning where I can do something to myself and then sitting into my work a little bit later is great.
Morning routine is everything for me. I'm a big morning person as well. What I am bad at is because you're meant to have a night routine to set you up the next day. Then it gets I'm just like loaded up with caffeine still. I'm reading a book on like why we sleep at the moment. I'm so bad at like winding down, and I should probably work on that a little bit more because my sleep would be better.
We're back, folks. Hello, everyone. So I put up a thing on my Instagram there yesterday, and a few people asked questions. I've gone into a few of them, but one of them was about you having a family and having kids. Is that something you've thought about? Something you'd like to do?
Yeah, no, massive. I love family. I love kids. Sounds weird.
Fucking love kids.
No, but like I'm great with kids as well, and I'm a big family person. Yeah. But my track record for exes is fucking awful. Last one was worst. Topped all of them. Unbelievable.
We'll come back next week. We're gonna have her on next week.
If I'm still alive.
No, that'd be some way to finish. Did you have so it's more so for you like finding the right person first? But the idea of having family and kids is
100%. But and you need to find someone who's on your level, same work ethic, same interests, same vibe, and unfortunately, like I'm quite shallow at sometimes, so it's trying to find someone with the same value. But my point is, because my mum's always like, Josh, what do you do? Like, what's going on? Why are they all nuts?
Yeah.
You only realise this after
such a great boy.
After the honeymoon phase. By that point, you're 3 months deep, and you're like, oh, I'm already in, so I might as well ride the wave for a little bit. And then
you should meet my brother. Very, very similar outlooks on these things. Because I have a missus now that we obviously get on very well. I think we're gonna get married, all that fucking shit. But she sits here, I sit there. We work all day beside each other, so I don't not see her all day. She's sitting there all day. But like the only reason that works is because she's the fucking right person. Do you know what I mean? If I had to do that with any other bird who's not that bird, anyone else really, I'd be like, fuck, get it, because I'm big on my own space as well. So trying to do that with someone who's not the right person just doesn't make sense.
100%.
But like the generation before mine, my parents are separated. They got married at 29 because all their friends were getting married around them. They're like, this is the time people get married and start a family. So them being like perfect for each other was secondary to like following the norms of society, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of changed a little bit now, where it's cool for people to get married, you know, and have kids, and they're after 35 plus, you know. It's my plan anyway.
I think a lot of people think you have to do it as well.
Yep.
But like, I also think it's very good for you as a human to be good by yourself. You can, like, if you're happy by yourself, you can be a really dangerous human. You can be like, you can do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Where like, I know a few friends that rely on having someone there, and it's like, it almost takes your focus away from actually what you should be focusing on, which is yourself.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a firm believer of not relying on anyone else for your own happiness. You should only add to someone else's by coming together.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
You should be a full meal by yourself.
100%. Yeah.
Everything else is just side dishes.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree. And like everything, I have mates now who have, or I 100% have people who have misses who are like, oh, she's just in my ear the whole time. They're bringing more negative than positive. And I'm like, what? Like, get it. It should be, I couldn't imagine her not being in my life. It makes me better in every way. Not, she's a wreck the head 90% of the time, but she's fit, you know. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's just, in my head, I'm like, get it. But like some people, it's just a bit different strokes. Like, what is there any like tasks or jobs in your life? It could be chores, it could be stuff in your work. Like, if I could give you one to remove, what would it be?
Back in the day, it would be doing my hair.
Yeah. Can I get my straightener back? Just 1 sec.
What's that?
Oh, it's so sharp. Oh, it's sharp. Oh, that will kill someone.
Chores that I could remove.
Do you like doing chores?
What's a chore? Like,
laundry, dishes, ironing.
I find cleaning quite therapeutic.
Same.
And when I can't really work until it's all clean.
Yeah.
So I don't really find it a chore.
I enjoy setting this up, which is weird.
Do you know what I don't like doing, actually? I know, making a bed.
Yeah, fair.
That's just difficult.
Yeah.
Like,
especially if they've all the dress pillows and shit on it. People have, lads with 10 pillows on top that you throw on at the start of the day. What are they doing there? Doesn't make any...
It's the duvet's a hard bit, like, and you're shaking it everywhere. It's quite stupid.
It's Johnny's all over the place.
Johnny.
Girls falling out of your bed.
Who's his Johnny?
Get out of there. What are you doing in there? Sorry. But it's let me see, because we've got I don't even want to ask the annoying question. Actually, you know what? I might do.
Go crazy.
It's not crazy, but it's
no, go crazy then.
Well, it's an interesting one. It is something that I think some people would look at your life now and be like you'll probably have a lot of people's end goals right now is like live in a nice place, nice car, like what you're doing for a living. Do you find that like when you get to that point, the goalpost is always moving? Like, can you find satisfaction in stuff you've achieved now?
I had this conversation with Jamie. Jamie, my business partner. At what point because the work ethic we have is just, it just goes every single day. But at what point is enough, which it'll never be.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. So you've got to actually not focus on if everything's going to be enough. You just need to focus on what you've got. You got to be grateful for what you have and take time to reflect back. Like, I was on a gym floor and I was broke. I didn't really sort my life out until like late 20s. You know what I mean? Life is slow, but it all comes down to, when I look back over the last few years, everything I've actually been doing since I was 19 has been leading up to this, like subconsciously, everything. And you got to just be grateful for what way you started. You know what I mean? And be consistent. Like,
even just that last 15, 20 seconds or whatever you said there, like, so many people will have presumed, or like, it's just nice to hear. It's just because like a lot, like it's for people, like I have mates back at home who are just doing like a day-to-day grind kind of thing, and like hearing that like, particularly you being like at late 20s, I didn't like my age now, being like, I need to figure out what my plan is. Like we were talking in the last podcast, at this age now, the 25 to 30 window, there's mates I have that are in people's kitchens till 6 a.m. raving it out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and work Monday to Friday. I have mates who are trying to build their business right now and try to like take over the world, and like we don't see them a lot, and like having kids and getting married. And I guess the reality is there's no like right way to be at this point. It's just no matter where it is, you'll be at the right point when you get there, and this will all be leading 100%. To it.
There's people who made it by then 25, but I really believe that after 30, as a man, I can firmly say like you really do mature and develop. But everything comes down to your daily habits. Don't get me wrong, you can go and have fun and stuff, but it all comes down to like your morning routine and what you pursue every single day. And it like you will prevail if that's going to be it. Like, but if you're going out all the time, you're just gonna. Yeah,
I feel like but the biggest thing I found since I started doing videography and like working for myself and stuff is I wake up and I do what I want to do every day. Like I enjoy what I do every day, and so like. It doesn't matter if it's like Wednesday or like Sunday or Saturday. Like I pretty much do what I enjoy doing all day long, so it doesn't make a huge issue for me, you know.
You've got to look at the greater good as well. Sometimes you don't want to do stuff, like you'll have work, but you know it has to be done. Like I always think exercise and nutrition. I don't want to work out when I'm hungover, but I'll still fucking go anyway.
Yeah, in fairness to you do.
I do. I do legs when I'm hungover. I'm an absolute psychopath, but I don't enjoy it. I just go with the flow, and afterwards I'm like, good
for you, Joss. Yeah,
I feel great.
And in terms of like a long term, or like let's say like 5 years, do you like Marbella as a place to live long term? Do you see yourself setting up like in all the? You probably lived. Where have you lived? I know you've traveled a lot of places. Have you lived?
Absolute gypsy.
Yeah. Have you done like Dubai and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I was in Dubai with my ex-girlfriend. Last 2 winters there.
She must not be named. We'll say nothing.
Oh god, what's Voldemort?
I don't even know who it is. So I'm just.
Dubai is an amazing place, right? It is unbelievable, and what they've done is crazy. But from a guy who, this is coming back to my roots, from a guy who grew up on a farm,
green fields.
I just want to walk down a field on a beach that's a real beach. Yeah. And after 6 months of being there, like it's just life is very easy. You can order pretty much anything to your door. If you ordered a donkey, it would come. Someone would drop it off. So like I didn't cook a meal for 6 months. I was out Deliveroo every single day. Prep meals. It was great.
You need a little bit like of.
And so that means I wouldn't leave my apartment because I would work from fucking home. So I was just in there all day. Then I'd go to the gym. I'm like, yes, leaving. Yeah. But like it's just a bit too artificial, and that's why I like here, because it's got nice weather. I know the people here, and it is more like home. But in all fairness, when I think, if you say like 5 years, if I wanted to have a family, I would like to be back in England, but I just can't stand the weather.
Interesting.
So fucking sucks.
Because I have a like I think when I long-term plan is like live back in Dublin, cold at the winter, like big jackets and all that kind of stuff. Like I love that shit. Like that's Dublin. But like Dublin right now, like it's in a housing crisis. Like so there's nowhere to rent. It's too expensive. Like so people are being forced to go elsewhere. So when we moved over here, I was like, oh no, like it's probably a little bit too good to be true. And like I'm sure this dance, like it's pretty great. And I was like, weather's pretty solid. The nicest cafes, gym wise, it's great. I was like, there's not going to be a lot of people like working and taking themselves like seriously. I was like, if anything, I've met more motivated and like business focused people here than I did at home. So like for me, all areas has been great, but I think home will be home at the end.
But also tax.
Facts, man. Jesus Christ. And your facts for me is like 33.5k this year. I was like, the tax guy's going, yeah, you're all right, mate, don't worry. But like I can't even imagine for the lads fucking sneaking around. Like
no, that's one of the things. Well, because I was never really in England as well, so I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So I love to travel. That's why, because I went to Dubai in the first place to become a resident there. But you only need to be there certain days of the year. So
I've heard the driving over there is like dangerous. The motorways and stuff is
just as bad
here. Yeah, actually, as I say it, is like
they don't indicate it. Yeah, they just turn.
I had nothing about. Don't call me Andrew Tate. I had a female Uber driver, and I swear to God, as there was a cop in front of us, there was this much space to like in between the ones. She doesn't even look. Just slots in, nearly took the back place off. Your man stops, pulls out the car. She's like threatening each other. I'm just in the back of an Uber, but the the mentality to driving here is insane. Like, I'm such a nervous driver. It's the way I drive. So when we drove in your car that day, I was like, okay. I was like, that's quite fast. And then you were like, okay. And then put your foot down. I was like, holy shit. But it's crazy, the driving and shit over here, man. It's mad. I have a couple of random questions to finish stuff off, just to get you to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of it's fucking annoying question to ask, but it does tell me a lot about you. You know the dinner guest question? Like, if you could have 3 people to dinner, alive
past or present.
Past or present.
Yeah.
Who would they be?
My dad. Yeah. Invite him. Haven't seen him in a time.
Yeah, facts.
Seen him in a minute.
Yeah. Make him cook.
How many people?
2 more.
2 more. Probably someone. I'd love to speak to Kevin Hart. That'd be just funny.
He's fucking great, man, and motivation wise as well, which he's come into out of nowhere.
Really interesting character.
I love his like speeches on YouTube where they like put it over some sad music. Like, son, don't stop for nobody, man. Like, it doesn't. Get up.
And do you know what? It's someone I've always just wanted to have a conversation with. Robbie Williams.
I heard he's an absolute session hound.
So I just find him so once I saw it as a video of him at Nebworth, right, and he gets everyone's phones to put the camera on, and everyone gets their mobile and takes a picture at the same time. I watched that, and then I used to just listen to his music, and obviously he's had a very like crazy lifestyle. I just love to hear some stories, man.
I've heard even on he did a podcast in the UK, and I listened to it, and he was talking about like, I used to go and like I'd go to one concert and he was like, it'd be great to go back to a few parties. He's just like, some of the shit, I imagine he's really underselling it, and he used to be like, like whenever I wanted, I had any lifestyle I wanted. So like I can only imagine at that stage, because he was the big, like my mum would have been like, he's the superstar of like her time was Robbie Williams. Like, yeah. So he probably had some crazy stuff to tell you.
But I think it'd be those. Off the top of my head, yeah.
Did you have you ever been to Ireland before?
I have.
Did you enjoy it?
Went to Cork one time.
Christ, that's a culture shock.
It's
not the first place I would have sent you. No offense to Cork.
That was a PA, and it was.
Where?
God, I don't remember. It was a bar in a hotel.
Oh Jesus! You would have met. How are you, Joss? Good to meet you, bye.
And the funny thing was, we had was it called a chaperone? They pick you up from the airport. And stuff?
Yeah.
Anyway, he picked us up from the airport, and he took us out. And he was meant to take us back to the airport the next day, but we got him so drunk he couldn't take us home. We missed our flight, and he got fired.
That's Cork. I can't believe that would not. I can't believe they were like in Cork. They're like, well, we get Joss Mooney in. I can't believe they'd even know like to have you down there. Someone's done well on their social media. That's remarkable.
Went to Dublin though. What's the main club in Dublin? Dublin is Box or something or
Crystal?
No, it's
Coppers.
No.
Me's like, well,
I can't remember what it was anyway, but we had a good time there. Me and Ross went. That was fun.
Dublin's lit. Yeah, Dublin's fun.
I really want to go to that Temple Bar in Dublin.
Yeah. Well, Temple Bar is a place. Temple Bar is a collection of like cobblestone streets in Dublin. There is a place called the Temple Bar, but that's a fucking rip off in a public. Like it's a tourist place. They go and charge you €14 for the original Guinness and all that shit. It's a load of bollocks. Go to any pub in Temple Bar and it's all Temple Bar.
Yeah.
My final question: do you listen to any other podcasts? Any podcasts you like? Any other personalities you like?
Stephen Bartlett's I listen to his.
Yeah.
He's just done one with Liver King that I should want to listen to as well.
I saw the ads for it. I haven't listened to it yet. Did you listen to Gary Neville's one?
No.
It's phenomenal. I just like him more and more. He's very like vulnerable in it and talks about like his he's got like...
Well, Gary or Stephen?
Yeah, Gary. Yeah, Stephen doesn't give a lot away, but Gary is like... He talks about like... he has like an addiction to work, and like about when he used to play, he like didn't want people to pass him the ball for a long time. He like hated playing. He was terrified of people passing him the ball. So it was crazy. Like he was in the England team and he was like, I didn't want to play. He's like, I hoped they wouldn't pass to me. It's fucking madness to think. It's just crazy because you presume like Gaza down the wing, but it's not the case.
That's like a whole against the whole... Like, why you play?
Yeah. And he was like, because he used to see Fergie like rip people to bits, and he'd be like, and like he was like, he readily would admit, I'm not the most gifted footballer. He's like, he could read the game very well, but like he wasn't fast or like beating people down the wing.
Just solid.
When he'd see like, you know, Ronaldo get ripped by the boss, he's like, I can't do that shit, and he's getting ripped. I'm just going to do what I can. So when someone would like spread it wide to Gary, he'd be like, fuck, get back in the middle. So it's just, but yeah, those pods are fucking great, man. You could probably get on Stephen Bartlett's one if you asked him. Nah,
he sent me his book, but he's got some big names on there. It's like he's killing it, isn't he?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Well. I mean, he's got a beautiful voice.
What do you listen to?
I do a mix because I have I like to do. Do you listen to any comedians podcasts?
No.
So I listen to like the American comedy scene. Like everyone has a podcast now. So I do like Andrew Schultz, who does Flagrant, which is like a huge show now. They do like, they just had fucking Kano from Top Boy, you know. He just had him on. They just did the UK run there. I was like, watched yesterday, Kano was on. I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, you done now. All the boys. It's crazy. And so they did him. They did True Geordie was on it. So he's just investing in it loads. So I like him. Stephen Bartlett.
Tony Robbins one's good.
Yeah. Did you listen to True Geordie at all? You know who he is?
True Geordie.
Oh yeah, he'll be gutted. I got you, Brian. He's like a big one in the UK. He does like fighting ones. Tyson Fury and shit have been on it, stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, Tyson Fury's a good one. You should listen to that one. But yeah, man. Yeah, those are all my questions. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you've fucking got a busy day and other shit to be doing, so.
It's not a busy. Oh, perfect timing. Got physio.
Go make the body work. All right, lads. Joss Mooney, thank you so much for coming on. Fucking subscribe to the podcast. Be sound, like I'm doing my best here. Yes, love it.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Can I just get a quick...